Good morning to you, Katlego. Firstly, what are your major concerns around the reopening of schools next month?
Good morning and thank you for having us. Firstly, we believe that the government is running a risk of having high cases of coronavirus in the country if they open schools without having adequate measures for the safety and the health of both learners and teachers. We feel that the Department of Basic Education is treating learners like guinea pigs to check if this virus really kills or not. So we refuse to be treated like guinea pigs. If they want to test if it really kills, if it can kill a larger number of people, they must try with Parliament first. Members of Parliament must go to work first, and then we'll see if it really kills. And we said to the Department of Education that if they are serious about the safety and the health of learners and teachers, they must ensure that all classrooms are disinfected and fumigated 14 days before the reopening of schools. Number two, there must be a proper transport plan, because taxis are only permitted to carry a certain number of passengers. So it's going to be a problem for learners to get to school.
Yeah.
Also, they must also come with a plan to deal with overcrowded classrooms. The report of the DG, that's why we reject it. It suggests that there can be 40 learners in the classroom, whereas the learner-teacher ratio is 1:30. So already they are already doing mistakes, and we cannot allow it. Furthermore, the PPE, which includes the masks, the gloves and sanitizers, are going to be procured from international. They are going to be imported. That's why we reject it. We are saying at least they must allow local producers, local businesses to produce those kind of things, because they are putting our lives at risk when they are opening the borders for those things to be imported.
Let me ask you this question, Katlego. We are going into winter. In fact, one would argue that we actually are in winter right now, given the kinds of cold conditions we're experiencing. The question here is, has it been explained to you the urgency of the matter of the reopening of schools? Why is government so intent on reopening schools, as you already are saying that you're not going to allow for children to be used as guinea pigs to test whether or not this coronavirus kills? Has it been explained to you why it is so urgent that schools reopen?
Well, we cannot divorce ourselves from the fact that the Department of Basic Education is not prepared. We've written letters to them, they didn't even respond. So they are not prepared to open schools. That's why they've been postponing their media briefings as from last week. Even today, we're not even sure that they are going to do that media briefing at 10 o'clock. We heard that it might be done later on. So they haven't said anything to us. They've taken that decision, and they have not said anything to us as learners.
I just want you to repeat that last point you made. You're saying that there isn't certainty about whether or not the Basic Education Minister, Angie Motshekga, is going to brief the country about whether or not the date of 6 May is indeed final.
Yes. Yesterday, after the DG released the report, there were calls and there were suggestions, proposals from the public, and later on there was something circulating that schools might even open on the 18th. So that's what they are saying. We are not, the basic education is not even willing to brief the nation, because they are just creating a topsy-turvy situation whereby everyone is confused around the country on what is happening with education.
A final question to you, Katlego. In the higher education sector, we know that some universities have reopened, but of course the classes are taking place online. What is your assessment of how online classes are going at this stage, or online lectures, if you like?
Well, Cosas has long requested for a program of one learner, one tablet, and they did not even consider it. So now it's very difficult to start with online learning because learners don't have tablets. Learners from rural areas and the townships who do not have data won't be able to access that online learning. So it's not accessible to all. So the plan of online and e-learning has not worked, and it's not going to work. So the Department of Education is falling apart like a house of cards.
Whew. All right, that's Katleho Mangwejane. He is with the student body Cosas, speaking to us from the Free State there.